Good evening to everyone present here tonight. My name is Yu Yu, and I will be your host for tonight. On behalf of the JPO family, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to everyone tuning in for tonight's broadcast. We hope that everyone is doing well and staying safe indoors. A friendly reminder to maintain good hygiene at all times and maintain social distancing when heading out. As we'd like to continue improving your experience with us, to the audience who are in Zoom, please help us achieve this by completing the poll that will be published during this broadcast. To anyone who is interested in sharing tonight's broadcast, a live feed is being shared on the JPO YouTube channel. Do like and subscribe the channel so you can receive live notifications. If you have any question you like to ask, please feel free to type them out in the Q&A section down below in Zoom and the chat box in YouTube. A recording of this webinar will also be uploaded onto the channel later on. Zhixin Zhang has been playing the violin since the age of 5. When he was 10, he admitted as the first result China Central Conservatory of Music, Middle School, where he studied with his teacher, Mr. Lu Xu, and was appointed as concert master in the orchestra in 2017. At the same year, he also became a founding member of a string quartet that went on to perform in the National Center for the Performing Arts, China. He then made the decision to travel to Europe to join and gain more knowledge in various academies and master classes. He had encountered and studied with many musicians such as Professor Nuzul Bartek, Sebastian Bochrin, Zaha Braun, Stradivari Quartet, Paul Roxette, Chenzo, and many more. In 2019, Zhixin studied with Professor Xiaoming Wang in the Kaleidos Musical School, and he is now using a Nicolaus Gagliano 1725 violin from Mr. Marcus Lefman. Zhixin had entered various international competitions and music festivals from 2015 until the present time. These include violin competitions such as Brahms, Menuhin, Tibor Varga, and Curtis in Zurich. He was the winner of the Stradivari contest 2019 and in the same year performed as the soloist with the Zurich Stringendo conducted by Professor Jens Lohmann. This year, 2020, he won first prize in the Ming Classical competition, which is an international online competition. He had also been awarded the first prize of the Lunigiana International Music Festival in Italy, which earned him the opportunity to hold a recital with the orchestra in Rome and New York. Tonight's interview features Zhixin Zhang with his topic about music and life. As our JPO family attendees are mostly students ranging from primary school to college, their parents and their teachers, the sharing of knowledge and advice you have for all of us is invaluable and greatly appreciated. The JPO is very honored to have Zhixin joining in as our guest for tonight. I hope that you will all join me in giving him a warm welcome. Welcome, Zhixin.
Hello, Xiaoyu.
Hello.
Hello, good to see you. Also.
You too. Okay.
Yeah, today, and thank you, Ling, for inviting me, and thank you for Xiaoyu being with me through this interview.
No problem. Thank you very much for joining us. So, without further ado, once again, a very good afternoon in Switzerland to you, and thank you so much for joining us. So, we will start off today's interview. And can you tell us about the video that we just watched just now?
So this video is actually a few months ago when I had a very good chance of playing solo with a young orchestra from Switzerland, Zurich. And it actually the first time is the one opportunity for me to play as solist in Zurich. It's the first time for me play with the orchestra here. So it's,
all right.
It means lots of things for me. So this video.
Okay, were you like very nervous because it was your first time, and how did you kind of cope with it, because you said it's your first time playing with the quartet
from here? I mean, normally we use German here, so during the rehearsal it's kind of complicated, but
okay.
you know, it's just did it.
Okay. All right. No problem. Thank you. And so we will go into our main questions for today. So would you like to share with us where are you from?
So I'm from China, from Beijing. I don't know, many of you heard of this city. I'm from Beijing, and yeah, most of the time I'm living there, and things I'm studying in Switzerland. So I moved here like already 2 years, something like that. But therefore, before I'm doing most of things in China, in Beijing. So yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay, since because from your profile, and we know that from the video, you're playing violin. So can you tell us like when did you started to play the violin, or how did you get in touch with the violin?
Well, actually, it's a funny story. When I was in kindergarten, I was like the boy who's very who's always moves a lot and to activity in the class, and the teacher from our kindergarten said, maybe just take a look. Just they said to my parents, maybe just take him to the hospital and check what's wrong with him. And after that, the doctor from the hospital said, he's all good, he's no problem. Maybe just let him learn something to make him calm down. And my mother just took me to I don't know, it's like a small academy from that time. It's like, so basically I learned violin and piano at the same time, since I was 5 years old. So
Oh,
I choose the violin as my major, and the piano I'm always practice a little bit every day, to keep the hand warm. Yeah.
okay, no, like, is there any like it's a question from me. So is there any strong reason that made you chose the violin more than choosing the piano? Is there anything?
And yeah, it's like it has to be like when I went to Beijing the first time, because I want to visit a teacher, Mr. Xu, which you
Mm-hmm,
introduced before,
mm-hmm.
and he said maybe he's more talented in violin than piano, something like
Okay.
that. And for personally, I like violin more than piano also, so that's why I choose violin as my major. Yep.
Okay, no problem. So can you tell us, because you're now in Switzerland, Zurich, and you
Mhm.
were in China before and you grew up there, can you tell us more about the time while you were studying in China?
Yes, the time of my studying in China was like very remarkable, and this the most of time very happiness, full of happiness. Man, just because I just born from there, and it's I'm using the language. It's also from my mother language, and it feels more convenient and easily in China to have the relationship with my friends, with my teacher there, and
Okay.
it's very freely to be in China. Yeah.
All right, no problem. So, since you said that because Chinese is your mother tongue, and from the introduction, we know that you're, yes, now studying, and can you tell us why did you decided to study there in Zurich?
Ah, okay. So it's basically because of my teacher, Xiaoming.
Yes.
He is also a Chinese. And this is very funny. Many people ask me why you went to Europe and you still studying with the Chinese. You should study with someone else. And I said, this is the main reason that why I decided to go to Zurich to study, because I think I like the way he teach his student. He's a very he's a musician who is very around with the modern technique, with the full of understanding to the different pieces from the music, and that's why I choose to study in Zurich with him. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So is he like, how did you meet this your teacher, Xiaoming?
Actually, my first violin teacher is the father of Xiaoming. You know,
Okay, wow.
so it's like, yeah, it's his destiny, you know. When I was studying first time with my first violin teacher, Xiaoming was studying in Europe. He's studying in that time. And if I was very young and he's studying in Europe, and now he's quite famous. He reached to a level, and now I study with him. Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of you got in touch with him because of his father and he yeah, and
But
like
it's the first violin of a teacher of mine.
yes.
Yes.
So like did you met him like when you were like learning violin with his father or like when you went to how did you get in touch with
Get in touch
him
with him.
and
Like
yeah.
he actually had lots of concert in a year, you know, before, and he has a quartet. I don't know if you heard of it. It's like he's the first violin from Stradivari quartet.
I've heard of Stradivari quartet,
Yeah,
but I'm
yes,
not
he first
yeah.
of this Stradivari quartet, and they in that time they had a concert in China. It's a, like repertoire. It's like a
Mm.
tour, a concert tour, and I just went to the concert. I just listened their concert and meet him in the backstage.
Ah,
And
okay, okay.
after that, I had several time of lessons with him. And
Okay.
mhm.
All right. So is he like does he travel like from Switzerland to China and like
Yeah,
traveling to go
yeah, all around the world. Yeah,
all
in the
right.
different
Nice, nice. That's
cities.
good. All right. So like is there any difference while you're studying in China and Europe? Is there any like difference between these two different countries?
Yeah, it's like basic is they have different system. Like in China, it's a society, you know, something like that. And
Yes.
I was more concentrated in the music ways to tell. It's like in China, we learn most of things like the basic stuff, such like how should you hold your violin in your arm, how to train your ability to read the note.
Hmm.
When you first time get a new note, how can you just read it and play it immediately? You know, and the left hand, the right hand, the technique,
Mm-hmm.
how to hold the ball, how to play of this fingerboard, something like that. I learn a lot of basic and
Yes.
technique in China and in Switzerland. I mean, there's so many composer from Europe, such like Mozart, Beethoven. You know, if you want to learn the classic music, you have to go once to Europe. I mean,
Mm. Yes.
it's not saying you have to study here, but you can learn a lot of lots of things. You know,
Yes.
the
Yes.
meaning the meaning of the classical music is like it's very easy to find here in Europe,
Mm.
and
Yes.
I choose in Zurich in Switzerland not only because of my teacher, because it's very near to the other city, to the other
Mm.
country, very near to
Yes.
Germany. It's very near to Australian, and if there are any math class that I'm interested at, I would just go there and
Yes.
have.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very convenient.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, like, one personal question.
Yeah.
Um, while you're studying China, like,
Mm-hmm.
do you use English or do you use Chinese to learn all like the bowing up, bow down, bow, or your fingerings or anything? Like, do you learn it in Chinese or you start learning it with in English?
Actually, I learned it first time Chinese, of course.
Yeah.
And after that, after I went abroad, and I have to use English,
Yeah.
and I learned different words in English, how to say it, and something like that. Yeah,
Okay, no problem. So you adapt and you change when
yeah,
you travel. Yes.
yeah. I have to
Okay.
translate. Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
because it's really interesting to know because in Malaysia, I'm from Malaysia, so in Malaysia, while we learn an instrument, we start from because it was in English, like
Mm.
mostly generally it's in English, so we learn it from English. But when we meet um in school when we meet another the Chinese orchestra Huayue, and
Mm.
because they use Chinese and because sometimes we have combine orchestra together and we play together, so
Have different people
we
from
use
place. Yes.
yes, we use different, we have to use English, we have to use Chinese, like to mix together. So it's very interesting to know how you use and how you learn. Okay,
Learn
so
English.
next,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. Next, since you have entered a lot of international competitions and music festival and have been traveling a lot, can you tell us more about your most unforgettable experience of your music career?
Um, where should I start? The most unforgettable experiences for me is like the first time I went abroad. I went to Poland when I was 13. And in that time, I had a very bad English language, and but I was very small. I was the youngest in that master class and competition. And yeah, it's very. I mean, in that time, it's everything very new for me. That the people in Poland, how they play the instrument, how they deal with their different parts. And yeah, I think that is the most unforgettable experiences in that time. And actually, this is the first time I went abroad, and it's also the first prize I won from that time, the second prize.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
complicated with the other very old brother and sisters who's older than me, and I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, and I think this is it brings me a lot from that
Mm,
time. Yeah.
nice. It's just maybe did you bring like did anyone or did you have anyone following you like to the
Mhm.
competition or traveling, or did you go by yourself?
I went with my mother, of course, because
Okay, okay,
if I want to go there alone, there's no visa for me.
okay,
So
okay,
I must be someone who's went there with me. Yeah. So
okay. To accompany and to take care of you. Yes, it's because you're
yes.
really young, so I can, yeah, I can relate that. Yeah,
Mhm.
understandable. Okay, and um, as we all know, and we are also in the situation of the COVID-19 pandemic. So because it is already hard for like normal people for in their work,
Mhm.
and I am sure it will hit much more harder for people in the artistry field, such as a musician. So
Mhm.
how hard did it affect you with your studies or anything?
Um, it's quite hard because normally we just go to school for a lesson, but now we do mostly all the things online, off Zoom, in Zoom,
Yeah.
on Zoom, and wherever we go, we have to put on our mask, because this is the rules in Zurich.
Yeah,
For the
same.
public area, you have to wear the mask and the social distance.
Hmm.
And for us, for our musician and artists, it's like we've reduced a lots of things from our concert. lots of concerts were being already being cancelled, and in our area there's only allowed 50 people to come to the concert. Yeah, and I think
No,
it's sacrifice a lot of things.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
Normally, how many people is allowed to like be in the concert? Like, I think it depends on the hall, but normally, how many
No,
people can it?
I mean for the little concert, it's like 100 or 200, something like that. If the people,
Mm,
if the tickets sold out, this will be more and more people than the time now. You know.
yes, yes. So now only 50. It's a bit hard. And will you feel like very sad because there's like less concert going on? And will you feel sad or very upset that you cannot like join or you cannot play in concerts
I
that
mean, a little bit of upset that normally I will have lots of things to do in this time in this year, you know, near the Christmas,
mm,
and now it's mostly um everything canceled. I would like to I actually will have a solo concert in this in December, and it's canceled because of the whole, and it's quite sad,
yes,
but we have to move on, you know.
yes, yes,
we,
yes, yes.
I mean, we're already very lucky because we're still alive. Just think
Mm,
about how many people lost their life from this
yes,
COVID.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
yeah,
Very right. You're right,
hmm
right. So
just
is there
thankful.
any, yeah, is there any way like how did you kind of like overcome this hard time during the pandemic? How did you like move on? How did you go through it?
So I have to thanks to my parents because
Definitely.
I went back China a few months ago when the first lockdown count shows up in Zurich. It's like
Mm,
there's so many infection in Zurich that time. I think 5 months ago, something like that. And my parents was very, you know, worried about me, and asked me if you want to come back or something, because in that time all the school is closed, everything
mm.
is closed by the lockdown, something like that. And I choose to come back to China and to stay for a little bit with my parents, with my family. And so basically I just threw the hard time with my family, with my parents. So I'm quite lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, I'm very happy that you've been through everything with your parents. Like, um, did you like was there still like is the school still going on? Like, do you still have lectures or and
Yeah,
like
I still
uh
have lessons, and we always go. We still go to school also. You know, not all the day, but if we have some rehearsal with orchestra, you know, we have a little orchestra from our school, and we have to go there. And by myself, I have another quartet, and
mm,
also have to go to school to have a rehearsal with them.
all
And
right.
the other lessons, you know, we just do it online, something like that. Hmm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Is there anything like since you have um you know what you're doing and you are so passionate with violin, like can you share with us about your favorite musician?
Ah, this is very hard to tell actually, because there are
There's too
so
many.
yes, there are so many good violinists and so many good musicians. You know, they have, you know, they're all very good. They have their special things on them.
Hmm.
And for me, the most the musician that I really like to say is Isaac Parman.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
I mean, I've heard lots of album and CD and videos from him when I was very young. When I started to learn the violin, when we're at home, I just go online and search every pieces that I'm gonna to play, and I always hear it, listen it from Isaac Paulman. The emotion, the passion he had, the sound he made. It's like
Mm,
it always let the people get in touch. It
yes,
seems
yes, yes.
it's always so many stories inside of his music, and
Mm.
it's the first time I tried to copy, but no, I can't copy his sound. Just learn good things from him, not everything. You know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think a musician, I think I don't know because I'm not a proper or a professional musician. I only play a little music like in school a long time ago. But um I think a musician, you need to have your own taste. Although you're now studying
Hmm.
about like different musician and you take the good things from them, but I think you should have your own taste and your own like
My own style,
yeah,
not
your
only
personality, your own style. Yeah.
this is
Yes.
yes, it's always the teacher always told us that, if you have any questions, you can listen to the other musicians in this world, and if you still don't understand, you can come to me and ask me. But first, you have to find your own way to solve the problem. There are so many musicians in your instrument, and you can always to listen to it and to learn something from it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Um so I saw that in your profile, and I did introduced that you are using Nicolaus Gagliano violin,
Yes.
the 1725.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you like can you tell us like kind of introduce us about this violin?
Mm-hmm. This violin
Yeah.
is like the first, it's like the same generation to the Stradivarius. I don't know if you heard of it. This is the most expensive
Yeah, Stradivari.
instrument
Yep.
in this world now. And Gagliano is like, in our way to say, he's a huge fan of Stradivari. And
Mm.
at the same time, so he tries to copy the sound from Stradivari, and eventually he created his own sound from his violin, something like that. And this Gagliano is also like a family violin maker. So family, they have so many generation until now, and by my side, my violin is like, the name of my violin is Nicolos Gagliano.
Mm.
It's the second son of the father of Gagliano. And this name of this violin is also the most famous one from the whole family of Gagliano. And I'm quite lucky that I have chance to play with my violin. And this is actually the violin from a musician in Switzerland. He used to use
Okay.
this violin to play, and someone introduced him about me, and I just went to him and played for him, and he said, "Okay, you can use this violin from me," and I had a chance to use this incredible instrument from that time.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how like is it so is correct me if I'm wrong. Like
Mm-hmm.
so the violin yours or is it the one from the owner?
This is the one from owner. I just use it for. I don't have it. I don't
Okay. Okay, you
just
don't own it. Okay.
use it from him. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so like do you use it how when will you use this violin? Like every time or just when you have performance?
No, I use it all the time. It's already 2 years. It's just
Oh,
hold by me, by my side right now. I just have it right now, having it right now, and I just use it to practice, to have the program, to have the concert, or just go to the competition. I use the same violin. Yes.
okay.
Mhm.
Nice. So are you preparing like now? Are you preparing for any competitions or any festivals or anything?
I'm preparing my own concert, online concert. I'm trying to, it's like a live stream, and I'm still finding a way to do it. I'm still considering. I'm not decided whether I'm in Instagram or Facebook, something like that. And for the competition, I will have several competition in next year,
Okay.
next class also.
All right, no problem.
Mhm.
So, okay, now I think we will have to go to the, okay, one last question.
Yep.
As you have heard, the Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra has involved itself in a variety of activities.
Mhm.
On behalf of the JPO, we would like to ask your views on the JPO and its activities. So, additionally, how would you suggest the JPO and its members further improve itself?
I think this GPO foundation, how to say, I think it's a very good opportunity to let the people know the different musicians from the world of the world, and I think it's very good to find a way
Mm,
to do it online. It's not only for
yeah.
you but also for us, for the different musicians, to let them have a chance to introduce themselves and something like that. And I'm pretty appreciate, I very appreciate, and I hope that I would like to go to Malaysia some days and play with you
Yeah,
guys.
you should if there's an opportunity.
Yeah, I wish to go there once. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like because you're now like you're only like 20 years old, yeah?
Yeah, I'm 20 years old. Yes.
Yes, so you're like very young musician. Like it's um very like when you go there and you show like if you have the opportunity to come and go, I think it will like inspire it can like inspire more and more young musicians and young people who is interested and who's passionate in music. Like yeah, you can share like really share a lot. And here
Mhm.
um we have like in the Q&A session here we have someone.
Mhm.
So Yakchin asked, how do you practice for competition?
Wow. It depends on how many time you have. For example, if maybe this competition will be held in the next year, you have 1 year to prepare, so you have to make the time very in a good balance. It's like maybe you have 1 year to prepare for the competition, and how many pieces you got in your hand, and you have to put them in a several month. For the different month, you have to play maybe for the first round, and for the next month, you have to play for the next rounds. Second round, you have to just to control the time. Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
and how what is your practice routine? Like how do you practice?
It's like first I have to warm myself up to do the things for the left hand, and after that the first the warm up on the left hand and the right hand to relax, to have to make a good position, the
Hmm.
good shape, and then start to practice the things you're going to play. Yes. Hmm.
And like how long will you practice for? Is there any specific duration, like an hour, 2 hours? Like yeah,
It's like for me it's like for every 45 minutes I will have
every four.
5 minutes path. Yes.
So you're not like you start practicing and you practice for like 6 hours, 5 hours, or like 4 hours. Or you don't do that.
I don't do that. It's too tired, and I can't just make myself concentrated on it. So I won't do that.
Okay. Yeah, and I think your muscles will go like very you like you'll get muscle pains and very tense, I think. Yeah,
Yes,
if you
if you
practice a
play,
lot and a lot.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
control yourself. Yeah.
all right. And someone um again, the same person again, she's asked, do you use civic to warm up or any etudes?
Um. Yeah, I do use the Civic to warm myself up,
All
and
right.
different attitudes, different things. It's not always the same, you know. Sometimes just play, um, between the strings and something like that, or just go higher or lower, something like that. Just try to make your hand very relaxable and to play the harder pieces. Yes.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Let me see. Okay, we have. Oh, okay. Someone asked, so
Mhm.
what would say is the greatest difference in the interpretation of music in general for musicians in China and those in Europe? Is there any difference between the interpretation?
Of course, there's a lot of different. I think. And first of all, they all play very good. They're all amazing musicians. And for me personally, the musicians from China, they're more like, how should I say? They're more focused on their own self. But for the musician in Europe, they always set up a further plan, not only for their self, but also for the next generation. They always think about what can I give to the other people? What can I teach or what can I show to the next generation who's interested in this instrument? It's like Chinese musicians always focus on their own career, but the musicians from here they always do the different things from different area, different things. This I think this is
Mm,
the difference for me. Yeah,
okay.
between musicians from two countries. Hmm.
All right, no problem. And another question here. So someone asked, "Hi, how would you describe the sound of your Gagliano violin?"
Oh, ah, I mean it's amazing. But comparing to the Stradivari is still needs something more. But for me, it's quite amazing. This violin has a very this deep sound and high quality of the high area of this fingerboard, and it's quite amazing. Yes. If you want to hear more from my violin, please go to my YouTube channel.
Oh, so you have a YouTube channel yourself.
Yes, same name. Yeah, I'll always
Okay.
some video on it.
All right, no problem. I'll go check it out later. Okay. So, oh, there's another question here. So, what is your greatest challenge to study music in Zurich in terms of like living there?
So for the first time that I arrived here, it's everything very strange and new for me. And I mean the first challenge is your language because
Mm,
in here you can use English as well, but I mean if you want to learn further about your about the classic music, you have to learn German, something like that. And I think the greatest challenge or biggest challenge first of all for me is like the language and how to make the connection to the other people from here you know
mm,
And I'm
Yes.
very lucky because I got my teacher here when I moved here, and they helps me a lot. And my house host right now, I'm still living with her, and she also helps me a lot to let me improve a lot. You know, we always
Oh,
use the German to talk to each other. It's like
all right.
always
Well,
ready a language training every day.
yes, yes. It's always, I think it's also very good that you speak in the native language there, like what they speak, the local language, because
Yes.
and if you speak more, you learn faster. Yeah.
Yeah. To talk
And
with. Mhm.
yes, yes. So, did you learn your English in Zurich or before you came?
It's already long before before I went to Zurich. It's like I learned a lot of English in China because in that time my English is so poor, you know, it's so bad, and my mother just found so many different school for me, but it started working at first time. And actually, how did I improve my English? I actually watched a lots of movie from
Yeah,
Netflix and something like
Netflix.
that.
Yeah, always.
the- you know, just find something that you're very interested at and just watch it and learn some things from the movie or something, or English song is also from the lyrics. It's also very helpful. Yeah.
Yes.
hmm
And there someone asked, so who is your present violin teacher?
Xiaoming Wang, he's the concert master of
Hmm.
Zurich Opera House Symphony, and also he's the first violin of Stradivari Quartet. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I've
So,
sent some to Leon, and yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. No problem. If
I write it here for everyone the name of my teacher, or should I write it down?
it's so, yeah, you can, and I can kind of, or you can just introduce it to us. And yeah,
hmm Yeah.
so yeah, so yeah, I did introduce him just now. Yeah, so he is still, so okay, so he is still your violin teacher now.
Still my violin teacher now. Yes.
Okay, all right. And yep, in the Q&A session, they asked the
Mhm.
studies in China Conservatory, is it difficult?
Um, yeah, it's quite difficult because there are so, we have lots of people in China. That's the comment. And there's so many talented children in that time, maybe, thousands of them. And last, the school will only take 30 people, something like that. So it's a very big competition against each other, when we was very young. And it's not easy to getting into that school, into the center conservatory of music in China. Is
Mm,
quite hard, but
yes,
yeah,
very
I
competitive.
first prize, first place there, uh, um, when I was in my school. Yeah.
All right, no problem. Wow. Yeah, as we know, China is a very big country and lots of people. Yeah, the population is very big. So,
It's very
yeah,
huge. Yeah.
yes. All right.
Mm.
So, you know that. Yeah, it will be quite difficult. And oh, someone asked here, what about Zachabron? Zachabron.
About him, um,
Yeah, what about him?
the teacher is like he won't show you too much from playing. And after I played to him, he's like he just sits there and directly said what's the problem on me and something like that. He won't play to you, not for me, maybe for someone else, but he always give you the right way, right direction, what you needs to do to improve, to makes you better, something like. It's like the teacher who can always give you the best idea. always tells you, and suddenly you will understand. Oh, that's why, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good because some of the teachers they choose to
Show
play,
to
yeah,
play,
to
right?
show
To
that.
show you.
And some
Yeah.
of the teachers they want you to figure it out by yourself. Like they just tell you and you have to think what you should do. Yeah, how should you change? Yeah. All right. So, oh, there's someone asking, do you have problem having opinion from different teachers?
I don't
Do
have.
you have any?
I mean, it's not bad. It depends on the people, the different people. I mean, for someone, it's like they have different teacher. They have maybe two or three teacher at the same time. It's very helpful for that people. But you have to say what you're really good at. For example, for someone, if you have two or three people at the same time, it will get some bad influence on you. You know, sometimes
Hmm.
teachers have different opinion, and you have to decide, oh, what I should do, what I should really do. You know, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. I think we are at the end of, yeah, the Q&A session.
Mhm.
So, very thank you for your responses, and a very thank you for everyone who asked questions in the chat box or the Q&A session. But I'm very sorry that we are coming to the end of tonight's broadcast. So we would like to remind everyone that our JPO family program will be broadcasted twice a week until further notice. Join us next time with our next guest as it will be posted near the time. More details can be found on our Facebook page. A video recording of tonight's broadcast will also be available on YouTube channel along with the past webinars and the soon to be broadcasted interviews. So feel free to share the Zoom webinar registration link, JPO YouTube channel, and the JPO Facebook page with friends and family. For our YouTube audience, if you're enjoying our program, please show your support by pressing the like and subscribe button down below. You guys have been an amazing audience. We from the JPO family wishes that everyone stay safe and healthy as face this crisis together. So now I will lead the prayer to end tonight's program. Please pray in whatever faith you believe in regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the wonderful time we had during this interview. I pray that you bless Zhixin abundantly in all his studies and music path, present and future. We pray that everyone staying strong during the pandemic and give us strength to overcome during this difficult time. We pray for the frontliners and those who must travel into work. As God, you provide protection and healthy bodies to fight this pandemic. I thank you, Lord, for everything you provide. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. So thank you. A very thank you again to Zhixin for sharing with us. Thank
Thank
you
you
very much.
for
It's
being with me
very,
during
yeah,
this, and thank you for Ling's invitation for this interview. Yeah.
no problem. Yeah, but it's very happy to and enjoyable to chat with you. And thank you for everyone for joining us tonight. So I'm gonna close this as a good night and see you all next time. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Bye bye.
Bye.